I was absolutely outraged about what was happening on college campuses.
Schools are meant to be safe havens for learning and growth. Yet, in some of the world's most influential nations, the education system is facing challenges that threaten the very foundation of our future. Schools are the bedrock of every nation, shaping the future of entire countries. While education is often hailed as a beacon of progress, this video takes a different approach. Today, we delve into the darker side of education in three powerhouse nations: the United States, China, and Japan. Please note that the following statements are generalizations and may not accurately reflect every school or student experience in each country. America.
As an American, I grow increasingly appalled at the anti-Semitism permeating so much of our country, especially by so many students at our elite universities, which have become left liberal woke hotbeds, fostering intellectual rot rather than critical thinking. Harvard and MIT and others receive hundreds of millions of dollars in foreign funding, including from China. Who do you answer to?
America. Education inequality. Disparities in funding and resources between schools in affluent and low-income areas contribute to educational inequality, impacting the quality of education for students in disadvantaged communities. Standardized testing pressure. The emphasis on standardized testing can lead to a teach-to-the-test approach, detracting from holistic learning and placing undue stress on students and teachers. Lack of vocational training. The focus on college readiness sometimes overlooks the importance of vocational training, leaving some students unprepared for careers that do not require a traditional college degree. Bullying and safety concerns. Bullying and safety concerns in schools can negatively impact students' mental health and academic performance, highlighting the need for more comprehensive support systems. Cost of higher education. The high cost of higher education in the US can be a barrier for many students, leading to increased student debt and limiting access to higher education for some individuals. University graduates have been financially struggling as the cost of higher education continues to rise. As of 2022, the average cost of tuition and fees at U.S. higher education institutions was $14,307, excluding room and board, almost doubling since 2000. Sex education, specifically pertaining to topics like puberty, healthy relationships, abstinence, sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, and birth control, is highly valued by over 93% of parents for both middle and high school curricula. This support is consistent across parents of varying political affiliations. A study involving 1,633 parents with children aged 9 to 21 found that more than 89% of both Republican and Democratic parents endorse the inclusion of these topics in high school sex education. Regarding gender identity, some parents express concerns about its inclusion in school curriculum.
Should kids in school learn about gender identity?
A California kindergarten teacher is facing outrage after discussing gender identity with her students.
They argue that focusing on transgender rights might overshadow or conflict with women's rights. Some suggest creating separate categories for transgender individuals, particularly in areas like sports and bathrooms.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and only ladies and gentlemen it is and shall always be. I am an 18-year-old high school student and wanted to take this time to bring to your attention the current issue with biological men claiming they are women and in turn truly believing that they are entitled to use women's spaces. There was an incident within our district that occurred recently regarding a transgender woman who really is a biological man having an altercation with a young woman at MLK High School. It was infuriating when I had seen the video on social media, but what was detrimental to this is the fact that this man is and has been using the women's restroom and locker room. Firstly, the question we must address is why are we affirming the mental confusion of this boy and putting the safety of women in jeopardy by allowing mentally confused men to use the women's spaces? Of course, any male who claims he is a woman will accept it, but what about the women? What about the true girls like myself who are female down to our DNA? Why don't we ever get a say in whether or not we are comfortable with this? The truth is, we aren't. The majority of us aren't, and yet nothing has been done to protect the safety of these women. I will conclude with this. It all starts with you. You are in charge of the safety of us women and the kids of our parents. So please do something about it. Thank you.
These concerns are reflected in videos highlighting controversies in American universities.
Sex is awesome.
Married, pro-life, religious people actually have the best sex lives.
She just married.
In American universities, activism is a prevalent force, often driving protests and campaigns for social and political change. While activism can be a catalyst for positive transformation, it also has negative implications.
From Arizona State to Indiana to George Mason and many more, Jeffrey Brown reports on how protests and debates around free speech are reverberating on campus.
One such consequence is the potential for activism to create division, leading to conflicts between different groups within the university community. Additionally, some critics argue that activism can limit free speech and intellectual diversity, as dissenting opinions may be suppressed in favor of prevailing activist narratives. Moreover, activism can sometimes disrupt academic activities, impacting the learning environment for other students.
Free subjugation and death.
So if I came up with my own religion,
Ooh,
that
triggered.
is satanic, I was satanic, I
Yep.
believe, and I
Yep,
am,
that's right.
I'm a practicing pagan.
Yep.
I believe that I can do whatever I want.
Another concern is that activism in universities may contribute to the formation of echo chambers, where students are only exposed to one perspective, limiting their ability to think critically and consider alternative viewpoints. In conclusion, while America's educational system offers diverse learning opportunities and innovative teaching methods,
Occupy Southern Lebanon, which is Iranian funded, is it not?
Really? I had no idea. Thank you for informing me.
Anytime. Maybe if you didn't go to college, you would learn more.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right.
challenges such as education inequality, standardized testing pressure, and cost barriers to higher education remain. Addressing these challenges will be crucial in ensuring a more equitable and effective education system for all students. China.
Student, hello sister. Student leader, in the future, when you see us 6, we are here to check the dorm. Pay attention to the work cards, only the 6 of us manage you, understand? Student, yes. Student leader, let me introduce you. This is Zhang Mayu, the director of the Department of Women's Life. Address her as your senior schoolmate. Student, good morning sister. Student leader, let's not hang things in the dormitory during the day. There are things to hang in the drawing room. You are not allowed to hang things in the room. Students, okay. Student leader, why is this garbage bag hidden here? Students, this is not a garbage bag. Student leader, then why is it here? Put it under the bed now. Arrange the 8 water bottles in order every day. You guys have hung everything up, it's all hung up here. What is the drying room for if you haven't taken it down yet? I don't want to see any hooks on the wall again. Tear off the wallpaper for me. Student, the wallpaper is a painting. Student leader, no hooks can appear anywhere in the room, understand? Student, understand. Student leader, and this, understand? Student leader, this is the standardization of the dormitory, do you understand? Student, understand. Student leader, the standardization of our student dormitories must be at the highest level. I hope you can cooperate with us, okay? Can you do this? Student, we can.
When the video circulated online, the student leader's presence was dubbed Black Warlord, sparking widespread controversy. After the video went viral, the video made many parents and children nervous. They commented, "It's tragic when you don't study hard and end up in one of these low-grade colleges. The lower the grade, the more chaotic, the more gangster-like." Pressure and stress. The intense focus on academic achievement in China can lead to high levels of pressure and stress among students, contributing to mental health issues and a lack of work-life balance. Limited creativity and critical thinking. The emphasis on rote memorization and exam-focused learning can limit students' creativity and critical thinking skills, hindering their ability to innovate and problem-solve. Inequality in education. There are disparities in educational opportunities between urban and rural areas in China, with rural schools often lacking resources and quality teachers. The exam-centric system. The Gaokao, China's college entrance exam, is highly competitive and places immense pressure on students, leading to a narrow focus on exam preparation rather than holistic learning. Lack of individualized learning. The one-size-fits-all approach to education in China may not cater to the diverse learning needs and interests of students, potentially stifling their personal and academic development. China emphasizes nationalism in its education system. The Chinese government promotes a narrative of national pride and unity, often highlighting historical achievements and emphasizing the importance of national sovereignty and unity. In schools, students are taught about China's history, including its struggles against foreign aggression and its achievements in various fields. Textbooks and educational materials often emphasize patriotism, loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party, and the importance of maintaining social harmony. This focus on nationalism is seen as a way to foster a sense of Chinese identity and loyalty to the state. However, critics argue that it can also lead to a narrow view of history and limit critical thinking about China's past and present actions. In China, the term involution has been used to describe a phenomenon in education where there is intense competition and pressure to succeed, leading to a situation where individuals are working harder and longer hours without achieving significantly better outcomes. This concept has been applied to various aspects of Chinese society, including education, where students are often pushed to excel academically from a young age. In the context of education, involution in China refers to the excessive focus on test scores and academic achievement, leading to a lack of creativity, critical thinking, and overall personal development among students. This intense competition can result in high levels of stress and anxiety among students, as well as a narrow focus on rote memorization and exam preparation, rather than a more holistic approach to learning. Critics argue that this focus on involution in education has negative effects on students' mental health and overall well-being, as well as on the quality of education and innovation in China. There have been calls for reforms to the education system to reduce the pressure on students and promote a more balanced approach to learning and development. In conclusion, while China's education system has strengths such as its emphasis on academic excellence and respect for teachers, challenges such as pressure and stress, limited creativity, and inequality in education remain. Addressing these challenges will be essential in creating a more balanced and effective education system for China's students. Japan. Pressure and stress. Like in China, there is significant pressure on students in Japan to perform well academically, leading to high levels of stress and mental health issues. Rigidity in teaching methods. The Japanese education system is often criticized for its rigid teaching methods, which can stifle creativity and independent thinking. Focus on conformity. There's a strong emphasis on conformity in Japanese schools, which may discourage individuality and risk-taking. Limited focus on critical thinking. Some critics argue that the Japanese education system places too much emphasis on memorization and rote learning, limiting students' development of critical thinking skills. Gender inequality. There are gender disparities in the Japanese education system, particularly in higher education and the workforce, which can limit opportunities for women. In Japanese education, there is a focus on cultural values, social harmony, and respect for authority, but it is not as overtly nationalist as in China. Japanese education emphasizes group identity and loyalty, but it does not promote nationalism to the same extent as China does. Regarding gender identity, Japan has been relatively conservative compared to the United States. However, there has been some discussion and debate about gender roles and diversity in recent years, particularly in response to global trends and changing social attitudes. Some efforts have been made to promote gender equality and diversity in Japanese schools, but it is not as prominent or controversial as in the United States. Overall, while there are differences in how nationalism and gender identity are addressed in Japanese education compared to China and the United States, Japan's approach is more subtle and less politicized than China's nationalism or the activism surrounding gender identity in the United States. In conclusion, while Japan's education system has strengths such as its high academic standards and focus on moral education, challenges such as pressure and stress, rigidity in teaching methods, and gender inequality remain. Addressing these challenges will be crucial in creating a more balanced and effective education system for Japan's students.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.